The cabin lights dimmed as the plane glided silently through the night sky over the Atlantic. Most passengers were asleep, lulled by the steady hum of the engines. In seat 14A, a woman rested her head against the window, her breathing calm, her expression serene. She looked like any ordinary traveler escaping into dreams. No one could have guessed the battles she'd already fought, or the ghosts she carried quietly within her. Then the intercom crackled. "Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain. We have a medical emergency. Our co-pilot has lost consciousness. If there is anyone on board with flight experience, commercial, military or otherwise, please make yourself known immediately." A ripple of alarm spread through the cabin. Blankets were tossed aside. People sat up, eyes darting nervously toward the front. Some whispered prayers. Others just stared in frozen silence. In row 14, the woman stirred. Her name was Elena Carter. For a moment, she blinked in confusion, trying to understand what was happening. Then the words replayed in her mind. Slowly, deliberately, she unfastened her seatbelt and stood. "I can help," she said quietly, her voice steady despite the growing panic around her. A flight attendant hurried over, eyes wide. "Ma'am, do you have flying experience?" Elena met her gaze, calm and sure. "Yes, combat experience." Gasps rippled through the nearby rows. The attendant hesitated only a second before leading her to the cockpit. The moment the door opened, Elena froze. The smell of fuel, the faint beeping of instruments, the flashing lights, all of it hit her like a wave. Memories she'd buried deep came rushing back. The roar of jet engines, the radio static, the voice of her wingman calling out before the explosion. She had left the Air Force years ago, swearing she'd never fly again. But right now, dozens of lives depended on her. She slid into the co-pilot seat, her fingers trembling for only a heartbeat before steadying on the controls. The captain, pale and sweating, looked at her with relief. "You're in charge, Major," he rasped. No one had called her that in years. Outside, turbulence shook the plane violently. Passengers cried out, some clutching their loved ones. But inside the cockpit, Elena's voice was clear and unwavering as she pressed the intercom button. "Ladies and gentlemen, this is your acting pilot. We're going to be all right. Please stay calm and remain seated." Lightning streaked across the dark clouds, illuminating the wings. Every second felt longer than the last. But muscle memory took over, training that had once been second nature. Her hands moved with precision. Her voice guided air traffic control updates. And through the chaos, she found her focus again, the kind she thought she'd lost forever. After 40 grueling minutes, runway lights finally pierced the darkness below. Her throat tightened. "Come on, Elena," she whispered to herself. "One more landing." The wheels struck the tarmac hard, then rolled smoothly to a stop. For a heartbeat there was silence. Then the cabin erupted, cheers, sobs, laughter, prayers of gratitude. Strangers embraced one another. A flight attendant collapsed against the wall, weeping in relief. When the doors opened, no one rushed to leave. Instead, the passengers waited to shake her hand, to thank her, to tell her she was their hero. Elena smiled faintly, her eyes wet with emotion she couldn't hold back. For the first time in years, she didn't feel haunted. She felt whole. A little girl clutching a stuffed bunny tugged at her sleeve. "Miss, weren't you scared?" Elena knelt so they were eye to eye. "Yes," she said softly. "But being brave doesn't mean you're not scared. It means you do what's right, even when you are." The girl beamed. "I want to be brave like you." Something inside Elena loosened, something that had been locked away for too long. When she finally stepped outside into the cool night air, the world felt different, lighter. She realized she hadn't just helped land a plane. She'd landed back into her own life. Kindness, courage, and compassion don't fade. They just wait for the moment we need them most. And sometimes one act of bravery can awaken hundreds of hearts, including our own.